Kyler Murray, possibly set to return. The line movement from the sharp guys in Vegas would suggest that Murray is set to make his return after a 2-game absence. In Seattle, Russ pins in his hand coming off the shutout loss at a snowy Lambeau. But my question is, do you trust Murray, who is obviously a fantasy perennial player in the MVP conversation, but banged up against a decent Seattle defense?
100%. If he's in, you know, he's going to be fine once he's in. And especially he's taken off, what was it, just a week? Or has it been 2 now?
2 weeks.
Yeah. So 2 weeks. It wasn't a high ankle sprain. It was just, a normal ankle sprain, nothing to like linger on for forever. And this team, when he's in, I believe they're 7-1. They should be 8-0. They should, if it wasn't for AJ Green, they'd have been 8-0 with no problems. But going in against Seattle isn't great. They're not going to move the ball. I hate to say that because they've got so many weapons. And Russ, I love Russ, but it's just not going to happen. Murray was limited in Wednesday's practice, so was back out on the field, not just through walkthroughs or media stuff, actually out there practicing. Limited capacity, but any sort of practicing is good, especially this early, I guess you could say, in the week. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that Arizona will roll. Kyler will have a fine game. Kyler could even hop up, top 5 fantasy guys, I think.
Yeah, Colt McCoy went 1-1, right? He beat a good 49ers team, and then he lost to Cam's return, right? Flip it to the other side of that huddle. You talked about you're not so high on Russ, so a little bit more than a blip on the radar last week in his return.
Let's look historically at Russell Wilson over the past few years. Starts out super hot and then just steadily declines. I know he's coming off of a finger injury, and I believe it's on his throwing hand. So obviously that's going to mess with you, especially in a cold game. Mm-hmm. You got pins in your fingers now. You're going to start feeling that. But it's just par for the course with Russ. And I hate to say that Seattle's a bad team. Their defense obviously hasn't been good for a while, but they have a lot of offensive firepower. I mean, Russ he shows at every beginning of the season, he can heave the ball 1,000,000 yards. He can get it to his receivers. He's got Tyler Lockett. He's got DK Metcalf. Gerald Everett's a solid weapon if we're not shitting around. I mean, but they just don't make it happen. And this late into the season, going up against the Cardinals defense, I'd say top 5. Mm-hmm. And, if Kyler and them are putting up a lot of points, it's going to force Russ to be throwing. So it's sad to see because the Seahawks got a lot of talent. Just wish they could put it together.
Sure. Interesting game in the NFC West.